Alrighty, so now that we've discussed selecting a topic to debate on, how to go about constructing a proposition, and defining key terms, let's briefly discuss exploring the controversy, or essentially the research process. I understand that this is likely not your first rodeo when it comes to doing research for a class. I promise to be a bit more brief with this one, but hopefully you'll learn something along the way. As for the organization of material in the next video discussing your upcoming debate, I will discuss how we're going to go about organizing our debates for the future. So to jump right in, it's important to come across as knowledgeable of the subject matter. Credibility can blatantly be stated, such as, I've done research on this topic for years. However, that's not the only thing a judge or an audience needs to hear to side with you. For example, a lawyer can easily state, well, I've been a lawyer for 40 years. This guy is innocent. But that doesn't necessarily impact the final decision. Competency of subject matter is revealed throughout a debate, throughout a speech, throughout a presentation. In order to demonstrate competency, you really do have to be well informed on the topic, as you really don't know all the arguments your opponent will pose. Research is inevitable. Don't only research your position, but also research the opposing view's position as well. It's only going to give you more knowledge. You're only going to be more well-rounded of the subject matter. And it won't stun you if they do happen to discuss an opposing view that you had previously researched. So when you're doing research, you can use books, you could use periodicals, government sources, databases, the whole shebang. It's important that you gather materials that are clearly relevant to the topic, but from sources that are scholarly and academic, and of course come from credible sources. That's the most important part, right? We're getting information from people who know what they're talking about. We're getting information from organizations that know what they're talking about. In Chapter 6, we address evidence more extensively, but for now, think about your topic and think about how to collect information that is accurate and academic in nature. It's important to critically read your sources that are both in favor of and opposing to your position. Do not simply read just to learn or understand your topic, right? We're again reading and we are debating as in evaluating the material. We're evaluating the opposing view's perspective. So while you're going through and you're doing your research, evaluate the messages, okay? Don't just read it just to understand, but evaluate it as well. Be critical of it. Lastly, I wanted to talk a bit more about our database. It is honestly a wonderful database because it is easily accessible to all of us. And for the most part, it contains accurate, solid sources that can help you prepare for your debate. So let me go ahead and move over to my desktop. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the screen. So if you just type into Google RCC library, bada bing, bada boom, here it is. You'll notice a couple of links pop up, of course, but if you look at probably the second, third link, database A through Z, welcome to the RCC library, bada bing, bada boom, you're going to click on that. All right, once you've clicked on that, you're going to notice all of these different sites in association with our database that we have, and it should say database A through Z. You click on that and it has a bunch of different search engines that we can use. So a couple of my favorite would have to be EBSCOhost. If you go down a little bit, it's under E. All of them are alphabetized. So there's EBSCOhost. We can also see CQ Research is another good one, as well as SIRS, SIRS, Issues Researcher. So let's go ahead and click on SIRS Issue Researcher. Let's see, it'll take a second. A little slow. Okay, so it should prompt you to log in because you're probably not on campus. So You need to put in your user ID, which is your 7-digit student number that you put in when you go to WebAdvisor. And then your password is going to be your first initial of your first name with up to 6 letters of your last name. On the web page itself, it should have an example of kind of what to do if you are a little bit confused with that. So once you log in, you're going to have access to a surplus of research on various topics. And when you're conducting research, you don't want to be too broad. Again, you're going to want to use key terms, very similar to what you're doing with your proposition, how you're defining key terms and you're being concise with the words that you use and the phrasing of everything. You're going to want to do that when you're using Google Scholar. You're going to want to use that when you're using databases online as well. So the more specific that you are when you are searching in any of these databases, the easier it's going to be for you to find the information that you're looking for. So again, using key terms. If you're noticing that you're not getting a lot of information for your topic, it's probably because, we're using the wrong key terms. Try to switch it up. Look at words that are very similar in nature. And that should hopefully help you narrow it down a bit. If you are having any difficulty trying to find research, let me know. Okay, just email me, shoot me an email. Let me know. I'm willing to help you as much as I possibly can. Maybe send you a couple of articles if you're really struggling in this area for your topic. So moving on, right? I hope that you have a clearer understanding of kind of our database in itself, how we can go about researching. I know a lot of this information is probably information that you've heard before, but I really do encourage you to navigate through our database as it's free. All of the articles, I know it's a lot, but again, if you're using keywords, if you're using key terms, it's going to help you regardless of the search engine that you use. If you have any questions about research, if you have any questions on articles, whether or not they're scholarly or not, you can always email them to me and I will let you know. So in the next video, I'm going to go over your upcoming debate, how we're going to go through and transition for this first debate online, which is very interesting. But I appreciate you all watching these videos. I appreciate you listening to these videos. I'm honestly trying my best to make them decently engaging for you all. This is kind of just a practice trial in a sense for me, but of course I want to make them as engaging but also as informative as possible. Questions, comments, concerns, email me, okay? All right. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Have a wonderful day.